Have you personalized it with LeBron based off of what you're saying? Have you personalized his athletic prowess and the benefits that he's gotten versus yours and the ascension?
No, man.
Okay. I gotta ask because you're doing a comparative analysis.
Your ass, but it's like my job to try to explain to sports fans what I think is going on with LeBron James. And so this isn't some jealousy I have of LeBron James. This is what I honestly believe. And keep in mind, I grew up with Jeff George. He was my high school quarterback. George, as much of an athletic freak as LeBron James.
You got a hole in your chest.
Trust me.
You got a hole in your chest. I'm trying to catch Jeff George balls. Continue.
Jeff George could have played professional baseball, could have probably played in the NBA if he wanted to, and certainly was the number 1 draft pick and had as much talent as any quarterback that's ever walked the earth. And we knew it in like 4th grade, like this dude was the number 1 pick in football. Okay. And so I've seen firsthand what athletic privilege does to elite talent. It's my job to explain that. And just because other people can't see it or are unwilling to explain it, don't blame me for that. It's my job. It's what makes me valuable. I see things that others can't explain. But it's just trying to explain LeBron James. And so that kind of privilege, when you started like 10, 11 years old, all the way to LeBron is 35 years old, I think now, that's 25 years of living a life of great privilege and benefit versus 10, 11 years as a child. And trust me, having grown up very poor, divorced parents, my father didn't graduate high school, my mother's a factory worker. When you a kid for about the first 4, 5, 6, 7 years, you don't even know you poor. I certainly didn't. And we was in the hood, groceries, and the whole nine yards. I didn't know we was poor. I didn't know I was having a good time. I was a kid.
Oh boy.
I just the Trump analogy, I'm just sorry. It's appropriate in a lot of ways.
Oh, that's tough, Jason. It's tough because we'll talk about it. He's been on hold for a minute. 347. Go ahead. Ask the question.
Yeah. How you doing, Mr. Fab Phil? So, if you have, first I'd like to say shout out to you on the channel, Jason, Elevated Majesty, Brianna, as well as you, Fred, Scholar Gang. My thing is this: if you have an extra handheld or gadget next to you, Google this. FBI believes local law enforcement is infiltrated by white supremacists. I'll restate that. FBI believes local law enforcement is infiltrated by white supremacists. You can Google it right now. And I'm going to go into the LeBron thing. So when I read that, right, on the newspaper, Daily News, New York Times, then I get in my car. Then I get pulled over by a policeman. What am I supposed to think? So when he says he feels like he's being hunted, that's what I believe that I can relate to when he says that. I'm not saying LeBron has this piece of information and he's conveying it that way. But I'm telling you, that's what I would think, all right? I work in a psychology field. Fred knows this, right? So I study our people on a social level, sociological level, right? And I'm a little emotional, but I study our people, so I know what cultures are. No one's going to sit down with me and be qualified enough unless you got a PhD. Because I do this work every day. I'm at work now. My thing to you is, that's my question. If we read that, why aren't we allowed to think that? If we read an FBI report saying that, local law enforcement is infiltrated by white supremacists, so when I get in my car, especially in the South, why can't I have that notion in my brain that I'm being hunted? Why? Because it's too many factors. My second question to you is...
One question.
All right.
Appreciate it. I'll let him in. I got to get the next call.
You have a right to feel whatever you want, and you can be controlled by fear and irrational fear if you want. I suggest that you don't feel that way because, and I'm not disputing the fact that you read an article that said the police force infiltrated by white supremacy or white supremacists or whatever. I think there's merit to that. That doesn't mean we're being hunted every time we step out of our house. Both things can be true. And again, one of the reasons why I suggest to everyone build a relationship with God is because one of the main reasons to have a relationship with God is so that you don't walk with fear, so that you take on a mentality as a king and a conqueror. And again, I'm not asking anybody to be silly or stupid, but I'm telling you, if your emotions are controlled by fear, you're not really walking with God, and you're really not going to make rational decisions. You're going to make decisions based in fear, controlled by fear, and that's not what God wants for you as a man or a woman. You won't make healthy decisions. You'll jump to irrational conclusions and start making irrational decisions, and you may get pulled over by the police and overreact in some kind of fashion rather than acting in a fashion that says, you know what, this dude has a badge and a gun and has the right, basically, by law, to take my life. So I'm going to engage in him in a way that does everything I can to prevent him from doing something criminal or wrong or unfair. And so, but if you're controlled by an irrational fear, you may overreact and do some things that, again, won't ever justify what has happened to you. But, I just say it's better to walk without fear and a bit more confidence, and particularly not to walk with an irrational fear of feeling like every time you step out of your house, you're being hunted. Whoever is trying to get you to feel that way isn't on your side. They don't want you to reach your full potential. They don't want you to make rational decisions and move ahead in life. They want you acting out of fear, and that's inappropriate.
Gotcha. 9